How would you like to see him match then for those last two fights?
I don't know, really. I've got to look at. I mean, I like to see him have the easiest fights possible. We'll see, but the fact of the matter is that'd be his choice. You know, he'll be looking for money fights. That's what he'll do because he's a professional boxer. And if there's certain fights, well, all fights, all boxing's a risk, especially when you get older. When you get older, but there'd be a lot of risk involved if he wants to fight at the highest echelon.
How do you balance giving him those big money fights so he can sail off into the sunset with a hefty wallet, but keeping him safe as well? Because I've seen people talk about Wilder, Zhang.
I hear that. I hear what you're saying. I mean, Wilder had those brutal fights with certainly two brutal fights with Tyson prior to that. And I don't think what helped him. I don't think that, and I'm not taking anything away from anyone. That ayahuasca situation didn't help him. That didn't help him at all. I mean, it changed him. But listen, I don't know what he's doing now. I know he's going to retire or what he's going to do. He'll do what he's got to do. As far as Derek's concerned, he's got a team around him. He's looked after by the same people who look after AJ. So there'll be some discussions and see where he go from there. It's a bit too early yet to look at what's going to be done. I mean, it was, it's very fresh, and he'll need to rest up. Him and Joe both need to rest up and consider what they want to do in their future. They're in the toughest sport ever.
We'll talk about Joe in a sec, but the natural fight for Derek appears to be a trilogy with his biggest rival in his career, Dillian Whyte, and obviously doesn't have an official victory over him just yet. Many people felt he should have won the first fight, but he didn't. How easy is that for you to make? What is the situation with Whyte at the moment?
Well, you can make the fight if he's licensed. I don't believe he's licensed at the moment, but that's something that we'll have to investigate. But I don't think he's licensed at the moment, so we'll see.
But could it be made outside of the UK? Would that be a possibility without a British license? Like Saudi, for example?
Whereabouts?
Saudi, for example.
Well, the British Boxing Board of Control
manage the event.
So that's not going to happen.
Fair enough. All right. So moving on to Joe now. You've mentioned Derek's contracted to you. You're going to help him out the last two fights, presumably, of his career. What about Joe? Because losing to Zhang, the same man twice, top heavyweight in the world, fairly easy to come back from, and you did bring him back. What about now, having lost to Chisora?
Well, he's like I said, the loser goes down the pecking order, and that's where he is, and he's got a lot to think about. He's got a lot to think. Well, I haven't spoke to Adam Morley's manager. He's a very good manager, by the way. I haven't spoken with him yet. I know my son Georgia spoke with him, and they had a conversation, and we'll have a chat and see what we think, and then obviously then speak to Joe and give our opinion and see what he wants to do from now.
I mean, he said in a post-fight interview, Joe, that he still feels fresh, he still feels good in himself, and he wants to carry on. Does it worry you a little bit when you hear him say that, having watched the fight?
All fighters say that. All fighters want to carry on. Like I said to you, I'm not being specific about Joe or Derek. Fighters are the first people to know then when their powers are diminished, and basically, as we use the old phrase in boxing, when they're gone, they're not the men they were, but they're the last to admit it, and that's the problem. There's people around them who looks at it, including myself, and have some responsibility, and you've got to look at it and think about it. So, we'll see where it goes and it's as I say, it's the most dangerous of sports, and it's the risk and gain. What is there to be gained from fighting on, or if you feel that you can still do it, or if it can be done and people believe, then is that risk worth taking, and so forth. It was a close fight. I mean, there was nothing in that fight going into the last two rounds. It was the knockdown. It's the knockdown that done it. I think the 96-94 was about right.
But Joe, in the build-up to the fight, was talking about still having aspirations for world titles.
Of course he was. That's what fighters do, don't they? Going in there negatively, that's what they want, and that's where he was at. And and let's get it right. Going into the fight, I thought he was the favourite, and
Yeah.
also the bookmakers, and I suppose every journalist. That proved everybody wrong.
Would you like to see him walk away now?
Who, Joe?
Yeah.
I don't know. If that's how he feel, if that's how it is, yes. If that's how he wants to do it, then yes. But I'm not. That's his decision to make.
And if he does decide to carry on, will you still be involved? Will you still be backing him and bringing him back at whatever level he can fight at?
I think we've got to think of what all the options are, including a couple of things that you've mentioned, and also, and if he did carry on, who he'd fight, what he'd get paid, what's the risk and gain.
Fair enough. Now, you mentioned just there that Derek Chisora is, of course, looked after by 258 management, who also work with Anthony Joshua. What's relationship like now between you and them after that tweet they put out, which caused a lot of consternation?
I see Freddie. I've got to be honest. I forgot all about it. I see him at the fight, at the weigh-in, and I forgot all about it. To be quite honest, that's what happens when you get old. Maybe I should retire.
Well, I'm not suggesting that, but yeah. So as far as you're concerned, water under the bridge.
Like I said, it was at the time I didn't think it was a thing to do, but it's done and it's gone. And what am I going to do? Go and have yet another row over something which is irrelevant now. They're both on the program. Daniel's on the program. He's passed everything, and that's all I care about. And the fight's on the 21st. It's going extremely well. We are applying now for an extension for more tickets.
But 100,000.
It can't go up to 100 at the moment. The maximum is 94.
94.
94 is the record, and that was the maximum. So if we can get past it, we'll try. But it's not about how many people you get in there. It's about the safety aspect of it. It's about the transport. It's about all those different aspects of it, because it's got to be a safely run event.
And has Daniel started training camp now?
Daniel's in training camp, yeah.
Is it here? Have they gone abroad again? Do you know?
No, he's here. When the fight's here, he's here.
And how have you spoken to him? How's he feeling about everything?
He's feeling very, very positive. Very positive. I spoke to Don as well. They're in a good place.
How much input, not input, wrong word. How much knowledge do you have of AJ's camp and how that's going? Because you're obviously the enemy for them, but you are promoting the show. So you do need to have a certain level of diligence, I suppose.
How much knowledge I've got in it. I think, and I don't mean being disrespectful, I know Ben's an extremely good trainer. He looks after a couple of our fighters who fought on the bill, Moses, for example, and young Royston. And I know that he's going to come in. First of all, he's diligent. You only got to look at him. He's a diligent trainer. He puts everything into it. You know that he's going to, they're going to get him into great shape and so forth. For me, it's all about mental with AJ. I really believe that.
Have you got any idea of what sort of place he's in mentally now with the new team and so on?
Well, they're a winning team. They've had a couple of good wins, haven't they? He's bedded down well with them, and he's obviously gelled with Ben, and Ben's doing it and his team, and they're doing a good job together. So it's going to be. Look, Daniel knows he's got to prepare for the best AJ, and AJ's got to prepare for the best Daniel, because Daniel has matured a lot, certainly his last two fights.
You mentioned there a couple of your fighters are in the same camp as AJ in Moses and Royston. Will you be pumping them for information?
No, they train at different times.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Just talking of the undercard.
I've got a camera in there. I've got a camera in there anyway. So
yeah, of course you have, yeah. If Ben Davison's watching this, we want to assure you that Frank's joking, but maybe not.
No, maybe I'm not. Yeah,
you'll never know, will he? Undercard on Saturday night, although the two high
Stop picking your nose, Ben. I can see it.
Brilliant.